morning everyone. So let us start the part 4 video for this making of the Indian Constitution. So we are in the MCQ part, right? So the MCQ part 4 video this one, and we have completed few of the MCQs in our previous video. So let us resume the session. Moving on, so the first MCQ for today, the drafting committee took how long for its work to fulfill? Means, make a difference guys, there is a time period for the Constituent Assembly. Means you may get a question like for how many days the Constituent Assembly has successfully run. So, and this question is not regarding the Constituent Assembly, this question is regarding the drafting committee. So don't get confused. So the drafting committee took how long for its work to complete? This is the question, and the options here 112 days, 114 days, 116 days and 118 days. This question was asked many times in the examination, and this is one of the easy and the fundamental question that we mostly come across. So the answer for this question is a very direct answer, this one, that is 114 days. So the drafting committee took 114 days to complete its draft work. So B is the right answer for this question. Now moving on to the next question, the provisional parliament ceased to exist on. So the provisional parliament ceased to exist on which date? Now here first of all you are supposed to know what is this provisional parliament. So here the Constituent Assembly, after we got the independence, the Constituent Assembly has been dissolved, and this Constituent Assembly has converted into the Provisional Parliament. This provisional parliament existed till we conduct the general elections. The first elected parliament, till we get the first elected parliament, this provisional parliament has continued. And we had an election. The first general election was conducted in year 1952 May. Got it? So I repeat this once again. After getting independence, the Constituent Assembly has been ceased, has been stopped. And this same Constituent Assembly members has continued as a provisional parliament, because we need some time to conduct the elections. So till we conduct the elections, the Constituent Assembly members has continued as a provisional parliament members. So we conducted the elections in 1952 May. Till then, this provisional parliament has continued. And after this, after the elections, this provisional parliament has been seized. After conducting the elections, the provisional parliament was seized. So here, till when the provisional parliament is existing? This is the question. So the provisional parliament has ceased in the year 1954, April 17th. Just before the elections, the provisional parliament has been ceased. So what is our answer here? Option A is the right answer for this particular question. What is that? April 17, 1954. Till then, the provisional parliament existed. Right. So, the same explanation. Just now I gave this explanation, guys. Just remember, till we conduct the first general elections, that was in 1952, the Constituent Assembly has continued as a provisional parliament, and it was seized in 1952, April 17th. Now, moving on to the next MCQ. Who of the following appointed as the head of advisory committee? You guys know the head of the advisory committee was B.N. Raoji. Now, what is the full form of B.N. Raoji? B stands for Bengal, N stands for Narsingh Rao. Okay, B.N. Raoji means Bengal Narsingh Rao. So he is the head of the advisory committee. So B is the right answer for this particular question. Moving on to the next MCQ quickly without wasting much of our time. Which of the following are correctly matched? So here towards this side you are having, towards one side you are having the committees and the heads of the committee. See the first one, State Committee, Jawaharlal Nehru ji, Provincial Committee, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel ji, Drafting Committee, Ambedkar ji, Rules of Procedure Committee, Rajendra Prasad ji. In our explanatory videos, I have given you the list of all the major and minor committees, and the heads of the committees were also given. Right, so just go back to that last video, that is the video number 8, part 8 of the making of the Indian Constitution. In that I have clearly explained you what are the committees and who are the heads of each of these committees. Right, just have a look at that, you will have better understanding. But for now, for this question, let me explain you guys. All the above is the right answer. State Committee is headed by Jawaharlal Nehru. Yes, it is right. The second one, Provincial Committee is headed by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel ji. Yes, and the Drafting Committee was headed by Ambedkar ji. Rules of Procedure Committee was headed by Rajendra Prasad ji. All the above is the right answer here. So D is the right answer for this particular question. Now quickly moving on. When do the ratification of the India's membership of the Commonwealth take place? Now, in order to answer this question, guys, you should know what is Commonwealth. So here where the question is regarding the Commonwealth. So what is this Commonwealth? So Commonwealth nations, these are the group of nations which are mostly, means most of the nations are the part of the British, means the British government ruled some of the, or occupied some of the countries. Like the British ruled us for many years. Similarly, not only Indians, the British have ruled many of the countries. And after giving independence, all these countries, they formed as common nation committee, and that is called as Commonwealth Nations Committee. I am repeating once again, all these nations, all the members of the Commonwealth nations are once members or were under the rule of the British. But here there are some of the exceptions also. All the nations are not the nations under the British. There were some of the exceptions are also there here. Right. So just like India, after independence we became free, but we are under the Commonwealth nations. It is our own wish. We are sovereign. If we want to continue as a Commonwealth nation country, we will continue. If we want to leave the membership, we will leave the membership. So no one is forcing us to be there. Okay, but we preferred at that time of Jawaharlal Nehru ji, we preferred to be as a member of the Commonwealth nations. And even for today, we are continuing as a member of the Commonwealth nations. Now here the question is, when do the ratification of the India's membership of the Commonwealth nation took place? This is the question, and I am directly going to the answer for this. That was in May 1949. So C is the right answer. In May 1949, we entered as the members of the Commonwealth nations. So C is the right answer for this particular question. Moving on to the next question. Who among the following had made a powerful plea for continuing separate electorate? Right. I'm repeating the question. The question means that who of the following eminent members has requested to continue the separate electorate? Now you guys know what is separate electorate. Separate electorate means the community elections, like the Muslim community will elect the Muslim members, they will vote for the Muslim members. Communal elections. So the communal elections have started long back during the British time in 1919. Okay. So this communal election, separate electorate has to be continued. This was demanded, requested by whom? Who of the following? So the options here: Jawaharlal Nehru, B.R. Ambedkar ji, and Pokhar Bahadur ji, and Mukherjee. So who of the following were the person who was the following was the person who requested for this? So I am giving the answer directly. The answer for this is C. Okay, B. Pokhar Bahadur ji. So here, let me explain you guys. On 27th August 1947, Bahadur ji, he was from Madras. He made a request to the government to continue the communal elections. After independence, Bahadur ji, he made a request saying that the communal elections should be there. On what basis he is giving this request? What he is saying is minorities exist everywhere. Okay, and there is a need to create a political framework for these minorities so that they can live in harmony with others. The difference between the communities will be minimized. This was his concept, right? What he said, by minorities exist everywhere, and we have to erase out of the existence, means we have to make them live in a harmony with others. We have to erase the differences between the communities. So with this concept, he requested the government to continue the separate electorate even after the election, even after the independence. Of course, that was not continued, but still. Right, this question was asked many times. Now moving on to the next question. The first meeting of the Constituent Assembly had took place on December 9th, 1946. Was presided by who as its interim president? Now, I have explained you what is interim president. Interim president means temporary president. Here the question is, on December 9th, 1946, we had a first meeting for the Constituent Assembly. Now let me explain you this question first. So in order to prepare the Constitution, we require the Constituent Assembly. So the Constituent Assembly has been gathered. Many eminent people have gathered, and the first meeting for the Constituent Assembly took place on December 9th, 1946. At that time, some leaders should be there, just like a speaker in our Lok Sabha. Okay, so we need some interim president who has to liaison everyone, who has to run everyone smoothly. So they conducted the interim president, means they selected the interim president. Why interim president? Interim president means, I just told you, interim president means temporary president. So here, why temporary president? Why not the permanent president? Means till the elections continue, till they conduct the elections, they selected the interim president. And this process of interim president we borrowed from the French. The French constitution, they follow this method of interim president, temporary president. So we follow this from the French practice. Now, the question is, who of the following were the interim president, temporary president? So, you guys know the answer very well. So, the options here: Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru ji, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar ji, Dr. Rajendra Prasad ji, and Dr. Sachidananda Sinha ji. Now, the answer for this is Dr. Sachidananda Sinha ji. Option D is the right answer for this question. I just now I have explained you the Constituent Assembly had its first meeting on December 9, 1949. At that time, 211 members gathered. And of all these, Dr. Sachidananda Sinhaji was selected as an interim president. On what basis? Means of all the members, whoever is the oldest member will be selected as an interim president for temporarily till we go for the elections. And this process, as I said before, we are following from the French practice. Alright. Now, let's move to the next MCQ quickly. Consider the following statement regarding the framing of the Indian Constitution. I repeat, consider the following statement regarding the framing of the Indian Constitution. Let's see the first option here. The Indian Constitution, which came into effect on 26th January 1950, has the dubious distinction of being the longest in the world. Yes, our constitution is the longest constitution in the world. This is right. Now moving on to the next one, the Constitution of India was framed between December 1946 and December 1949. During this time, its draft were discussed clause by clause in the Constituent Assembly. Yes. We started preparing the Constitution in 1956 and ended in 1949, and each of the clauses of the Constitution was discussed clearly in the Assembly. So this statement is also right. Now moving on to the next statement, third one. While framing of the Indian Constitution, the Constituent Assembly held 11 sessions with the sittings spread over 165 days. Yes, this is also right. Now, I just want you to make a difference between the number of days of the Constituent Assembly and the number of days of the drafting committee. In one of the bit in the same video, we have discussed that only for the drafting committee, it took 114 days. Let me explain you clearly. For drafting committee, it took 114 days. For the whole Constituent Assembly, it took 165 days with 11 sessions. So please don't get confused with this with these two figures. Okay, only for drafting committee we had 114 days, and for the whole Constituent Assembly we took 165 days. So read the question carefully always. Okay, and the Constituent Assembly has conducted 11 sessions while framing the Constitution. So this statement is also right. So now here, which of the following statements are correct is the question here. So all the above is the right answer. Right. Chalo, D is the right answer here. So that's all for today's session, guys. I'm trying to complete the MCQs quickly. Maybe most probably 2 more videos will be left over for these MCQs. Okay, after that immediately I'll start the history topic first. One topic will be the history topic and the other one will be the polity topic. As I said, both simultaneously we will move on. So I'll provide one video for history, one video for polity, so that we can complete both the syllabus at a time. Okay, within 2 or 3 days I'll complete this MCQs and then we will quickly move on. Till then, stay tuned with me and click the bell icon, subscribe the channel. So click the bell icon so that you will get the further notifications whenever I post the video. Take care, guys. Thank you. Bye bye.